Hey, yep,
I appreciate it. I good. What's going on, man? Thank you for having me on.
no problem, no problem. So we'll reintroduce. Welcome to another episode of Powerhouse Conversations, where we have dope conversations about people in the sports industry, how you can innovate, and make sure that we're giving some good information and some good, some good insight on how you got to where you are. Today we have on Taryn Morgan. I'll let you introduce yourself, your background, and kind of get us started.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? I'm trying to get this all together. We got bootleg tripod style. We making what
You're
happen
good.
out here. But Taryn Morgan, born and raised Neptune, New Jersey. New home, Baltimore. Been down here 2010 to 13. Moved back home to Jersey. Came back down here. Got my undergrad in communications. Got my first master's degree in higher education administration. And I got my second master's degree in administrative science. So nothing involving gaming at all. However,
Gotcha.
I've been doing video since 2005, and I'm a long life gamer. Like Biggie Small said, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. That's what my family was doing.
Gotcha.
So that background, casual gamer over the years, more so was into Zelda, but I was nice and mad a little bit before '06 when they put the QB Vision. The QB Vision took me down.
Yeah.
But after that, 05 Matter cover. I was nice in that. See me if you want to run back, But
Right.
I am also an educator. Been in higher education since 2010 professionally. So since then, more so resident director. So in the role of supervising residence halls of various sizes, with students mostly who are freshman males, and then also a mixture too. Then I did some operations, some emergency response. And I'm a general tech head, so I'm a little bit of everything, and I also do some mental health advocacy work too, independently and with the National Alliance of Mental Illness. So that's a lot in a little bit of time. So
No,
so that in there.
that just tells us that you have a good background in what you're doing. But that's what I will get to the esports and the gaming side of it. But I want to dive a little bit deeper into, because you said as far as being an educator. I want to dive a little bit deeper into what brought you to wanting to impact the kids' lives in that way from the gaming's perspective.
Mm-hmm. So I've always been a giver. I was a camp counselor throughout the years. So I always had that natural gift with kids, and education was something that wasn't really pushed in my family like that. I'm actually the first college graduate within my immediate family. So for me, it was just one of those things of just something that was naturally within me, wanting to get back to people and then the youth. My father and my grandfathers, they were coaches for Pop Warner and also for baseball. So all that stuff was there, and I come from a very large family. So, I'm a very family-oriented person. So for me, it just was something I was always interested in. I was always a naturally curious kid, so always wanting to know more and more and whatnot. So education, I gravitated towards it because first off, when I was graduating college, I didn't know what I wanted to do anyway. So, I didn't want to go to college in the first place. My parents literally said, if you don't go to college, you're not staying here.
Right.
And that showed up in my grades. My first year, freshman year, I got a 1.7 GPA. I was out here partying, drinking, ladies left and right, all that stuff. So I was just in my element. And then I got serious my sophomore year and got a 3.7. And ever since then, I've been high three since, and really saw the power of education, not just formal education, but also self-education, reading books, researching on your own. So, for me, I look at it as a way to get out of the situations of where I've been in, and to take me further.
No, that makes perfect sense. So let's tie that into how kids are able to, to capitalize on it. What people shunned before, now it's becoming a thing that can take these kids far. So give everybody who's not familiar, give them some background on where esports sits and how it intersects with college.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's wild because I never thought it would be here. Literally, when I was a kid, my grandma would say, "Take that thing off my TV before you break it." So we went there, and then freshman year we were playing Call of Duty Heavy, and that wasn't available. But when the pandemic came, 2020, I always knew about esports. Around 2018, I'm like, this is a thing.
Right.
And then for us, we all experienced the pandemic, obviously. And for universities around the country, they weren't allowing, majority of them weren't allowing students to stay on campus. So we need to figure out a way to really engage our students at a distance and keep them connected. And that was what I did via video games and esports. So there's a tournament thrown by 300 Entertainment, DCLR, and also Community, which was a Call of Duty tournament. First ever HBCU Battlegrounds, put the team together in a week, and we came about and we won everything. So for us, esports really was one of those things of we can engage the students. But then for me, when I saw like this is something that we're actually good at, and I just have a natural knack for building things, that's what really helped me get there. So esports for a lot of Black people, it's one of those things of we're just not educated about it. They say that video games are a waste of time. However, it's not. And us having conversations like this and me personally pushing that video games can change your life because it changed mine, that's something that needs to be said out there. So really, experience is key. And one thing that Jihan put out there was good, the Hip Hop Tech Diva. Make sure you follow her. She has some really, really good information when it comes to web transformation, digital transformation, we're talking about metaverse, all that good stuff, Web3. But esports, it is competitive video games. So it can be your Madden, Call of Duty, Super Smash Brothers, anything along the lines. And also I've been seeing a competitive pool. Like back in the day, we used to play pool on the computers. That's something now, playing chess online. So it's really something that isn't a definable thing 100%, but that's what it is. And that's one thing I love, it's ever evolving and growing. And that's what allows for Black and brown people to really get into the field because there's no set way. I still consider it the Wild Wild West because it's ever growing and changing. And I'm able to put my own individual unique swag on it and approach to really delivering, and everyone has those specific gifts that they can contribute. For me, I come from a video background, and that's exactly what esports is. It's entertainment. And you're doing your broadcast, you still have to do some editing. You have to have broadcasters like ESPN. You have literally everything, event production. You have places that are tournaments that are taking place within facilities, and you have to deck out the facilities with production and with decoration, etc. So there's a lot of different ways for people to get into it. I'm not sure if I answered your question completely, but I just want to make sure I put the information out there though.
Gotcha. The E stands for electronic. Her question was, what does the E mean in esports? So just going back to that. So the gaming aspect, it was kind of cool that you kind of brought up about the different, because I didn't even think about chess, like you said, pool, like it can go a lot of different places. Most people think of like you just said, like a Madden, NBA 2K, or Call of Duty, Halo, all those different things. So this, like you said, there's a lot of different places that this can go.
Absolutely.
So, from that standpoint, I want to dive a little bit deeper into, from a college perspective, we talk about the big sports, right? So you think about basketball, football, baseball, the money makers in college, right? So I'm pretty sure the funding is an issue for esports, especially being at an HBCU. But how does that work with getting funding to do the things that you want to do for these kids?
Absolutely, funding is an issue because it's so new. They don't know what it is, and of course, you have the old heads who have the mentality of that's a waste of time. You can't get ahead. However, when I come back to you saying that I brought a $250,000 to the university in a year, there's something there, So it's one of those things of really that it's an extremely uphill battle, but it's worth it at the end of the day. I'm gonna let y'all know right now, if you're trying to get into the field, you're probably not going to get paid for the first couple of years. I still haven't got paid 2 years, but in $250,000. So like, it's different. However, I've had the conversations with the president and vice presidents, and they're aware of everything. And the fact that it's so new, you got to look at it. It's not like your traditional sports. It is, but it isn't. It's a athletic, the varsity component. Then you have the recreation, and then you just have the social. And then you also have the academic side of things too. So it's these three different things. So I always put recreation and social together. So 3 different sides of what esports is to a university. And with that, it's extremely expensive to start a program. You have to have the consoles. You have to, some places, majority of esports right now is with gaming computers. And computers, those rigs, they can go anywhere up to like starting a good one, maybe $3,000, $4,000.
Mm.
And if you're looking at a team of 10, 15 people, that adds up very quickly. And
Right.
then you have to make sure you have the infrastructure. You have the broadband Ethernet available.
Right.
You have the heating equipment in there because those computers heat up. You got to have the room cooled down a little bit.
Gotcha.
The electrical costs, that's another thing right there too. So the way that we kind of counteract those costs are through competition. So you have competitions where they have various prize pools, some $15,000, some $10,000. You have people out here winning like millions
Right.
playing
Right.
video games. So for us, our winnings probably have come to about $50,000, but that is something from just organizations that we work with. There's way more things out there,
Mm-hmm.
and there's not enough manpower to get to those different opportunities. So that's what, when you have that funding issue, that adds to it also. However, one thing I'm very interested in to see is how NIL, which is name, image, likeness,
Beat
is
me.
going to come into play. Because when you're looking at big gaming companies, like big gaming teams like FaZe Clan, FaZe Clan is $1 billion video game team. And they have various members who are doing different things. It can be music, it can be graphic design, they're
Right.
selling merchandise, all that stuff. So NIL, I think it's really going to be interesting once it hits into esports, because it's just going to take it somewhere totally different. And especially when you're creating this content,
Right.
content is a powerhouse. Content is king right now. So
Right.
I'm really interested to see within the next 5 years where that's going to take us, because it's going to give a lot of people opportunities who previously didn't have those opportunities, and especially when you're talking about getting into the STEAM field. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and so you actually beat me to it with the NIL. But as far as the NIL, is it they haven't regulated it in your space yet, or is it that the opportunities just aren't there yet because it's not the big name sport?
Well, at majority schools, NCAA in general right now does not recognize esports as a sport, so we're not governed by them.
Gotcha.
So their rules don't apply to us. So that's why I
Gotcha.
say it's a Wild Wild West. So really, it's one of those things of building those strategic partnerships and making sure that the right people know, and then also data. Data is king. Having
Yeah.
that data showing like, I get these impressions, this is our engagement rate, all that stuff. So it's not really a matter of issue of getting the NIL, because yes, it's going to be a challenge no matter what, but it's a matter of time. Like for us, we've been in the game officially. This past year was our pilot year.
Yeah.
So since fall, but we were playing since October 2020. So this is a year where I put the structure in place. So, you can't have a Ferrari without building that structure, that company, that brand.
Right.
You have to get your systems that work. You
Right.
have to get students on board and get their buy-in, because ultimately they are the ones that are playing the games. But at the same time, they don't have that business mindset. So it's one of those things of really a lot of building that system, building the foundation, because when you have a strong foundation, that's when you can go big. If you
Right.
go big too fast without a strong foundation, it's all going to topple down.
Yeah, that makes sense. So is that something that you all can monetize like already, or is it let me see, how do I put this? Is it something that you all are able to partner with them now, and like businesses are already looking to do that, or it?
So you do have sponsorship opportunities, a lot of those in there.
Gotcha.
Like say for instance, for our jerseys, we are. So I'm also the director of broadcasting and development for the MEAC conference, which is Mid Eastern Athletic Conference.
All right.
So for us, our jerseys are sponsored by a company, so they have their name on it, and
Gotcha.
they're donated to us. So for us, it's more so. I'm sorry, I just had a brain freeze. What was the question again?
No, so I was just asking about the opportunities for you all to monetize it now, because that's why I was as far as like offsetting some of that cost, right?
Got you. Yeah, there definitely is. It's a matter of pitching to these companies. So when you're looking at content, your content can be licensed out to other places.
Right.
So that's the move that I'm looking for right now. But with everything right now, we're still in the developmental phase at Morgan State University. So things are kind of on a freeze until they get a budget approved for me to really do what I need to do. So like I said, that that time frame of waiting to get paid,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you got to present them with the whole package of, okay, this is what's going on. Boom, in the report, in the year report, this is what we did.
Yep.
Okay, now I have the leverage. Now, what are you going to do? Like, I know what I do. What do you do?
Right.
So
Right.
that's one of the things,
So
too, is like those challenges, the institutional challenges.
I think that you all sit in a unique space as well, because like you mentioned earlier, you all have the ability more than the other sports to be able to bring that data to them, right? Because a lot of the things that you all do is data driven. You can get on Twitch, you can get on all these other things, like you said, impressions, create that content, and you're able to show the value up front, and you're able to leverage their personal brands just off of all the numbers and the analytics that you're going to have.
Yeah, definitely.
So, this was the other thing I wanted to ask about the tournaments. Are these tournaments? Are you all joining just whatever tournaments out there, or are there specific leagues or tournaments for college?
So the two organizations that we work with is the MEAC. So the MEAC oversees all the about, I think it's 10 HBCUs. So some of them include Dell State University, Howard University, North Carolina Central University. I'm definitely missing more, but I can't remember them right now. So we have a league that we've done. We were the inaugural Split Gate champions for fall 2021, and then we were the runner-ups overall for spring 2022. So that's one of the leagues that we participate in, and then also Community, which is a HBCU nonprofit esports organization who establishes all of the different titles. So they have a Call of Duty league, Madden, and what's the other title? NBA 2K. Shout out to my students. We were the NBA 2K and Madden champions. So definitely they're killing it right there. So for us, these are the organizations that we've particularly been working for. I'm all about strategic partnerships. We're open to other organizations too, but you have some people who are allowing free play, and then you have some people who want you to pay in order for your students to play, and the benefit isn't that great in return. So I'm more so like, what's the benefit? Because a lot of places, they just want the title of Morgan State University being involved, and there's no other benefit besides exposure, quote unquote. So.
Yeah. And so, in this instance, I would assume that the MEAC is kind of responsible for going and securing, different sponsorships, different opportunities to put together those for the league. Is that how it works?
So for MEAC sanctioned play, yes. So they get those. So they're the ones that donated our jerseys. But for everything else, it's more so just me and my market research. Or if my students see that there's someone else that they want to do some stuff with, or it's competition, I'm like, sure, go ahead. But I know for me particularly, I'm all about what's going to bring the greatest return to our students. What's going to be the biggest benefits outside of the cash pools? You have stuff for internships, for careers. So that's really what I'm on, trying to develop our students holistically.
Yep, and that's where I wanted to go. Was with the kids that come on your team, how does that work? Are you recruiting them? Are you recruiting them once they get on campus? Like what does that look like?
So for me, I've been on social media since Black Planet. So like AOL chat rooms, me hitting, all that stuff. So for me, like, I use social media as my tool to find things, but also to recruit. So necessarily, I don't recruit. I just put the graphics out here saying that we have a team, and then I leave it up to the students to say, organize now. Gotcha. Because these are skills that they need anyway when they're getting into the job force after the fact. So my approach when it comes to these students is that I treat them just like business partners. Gotcha. I am your board person, your board, but y'all are the organization. Y'all running this. Right. So I'll make the moves. I'll talk to people that y'all can't talk to, that are access to, and then y'all do what you got to do on the other end. Because the students, they know the game culture, but they don't know the business. Right. For me, I have a fusion of both of them because I'm a lifelong gamer, and I've been doing operations, and I've been dealing with big budgets. So for me, it's more so like I'm developing them to be business leaders in their respective fields. So that's the way I'm really approaching everything with that.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. So is there in the future, is there opportunity, or are you looking at, for opportunities for, I guess, quote unquote, scholarships to come play?
Oh yeah, we just gave out our $100,000 in scholarships donated to us by Verizon.
Okay.
And then this past year, we established a partnership with the University of California, Irvine, to establish a pilot program with them, an exchange program. So we had our vice president and president this past year go out to California for 8 weeks to do paid research on anything related to gaming and esports. And then their master's and doctorate, if they choose to go for it, all covered. And they get a $30,000 stipend, and they can apply for another $20,000 for a fellowship. So the opportunities are out there, definitely, because this is a unique pathway that's pushing students into the STEAM fields. So that's the big push right now, and especially when you see everything that happened post George Floyd, where all of the performative things of let's support Black people and all this stuff. So like we're still seeing that residual effect of things, but with us, we're getting these opportunities, but we're showing up and we're showing out. So that's the main thing.
Okay. And then so I know you touched on it a little bit, but after the game, like we talk about the the NCAA, the regular sports, the sports that everyone thinks about, and then there isn't a path after that, right? So they have to figure it out. But this is a field that you get in here. And you're able to learn about technology. You're able to learn about all these different things, and you're able to especially the way you're doing it. You're teaching them about the business side of things, and having them get some hands-on experience. So I think that's a very unique proposition for them to be prepared for life after college. But what are some of those fields that they can get into after going through esports?
Yeah, so there is a competitive pro track, but just like NFL, NBA, everybody and their mom want to be in there. You're not going to be there. Like, not everybody's going to be there.
Right.
But, you have to have somebody that's actually drawing the characters. That's something. So if you're a drawer, boom, you're good. You need somebody that's actually voicing the characters. You need a crazy soundtrack if you're playing NBA 2K or Madden.
Yeah.
So these are different areas right there. Social media managers, lawyers, there's law and everything. So typically anything these careers now you see, they can kind of transfer into esports too in gaming.
Right.
When you look at video games in general, about I think it's like 84% of Black teenagers play video games, but when you look at game developers, only 2% Black people within the field. So through gaming, we're able to really make that change, introduce these different careers that usually Black folks aren't introduced to, because we're not privy to some of these conversations that these white families have, about technology or whatnot.
Right.
And for me, I intentionally talk about all my trials and challenges that I have had throughout my life to show them that I ain't come from this background, but now I'm in here killing it because I'm using my gifts.
Right.
And one of those things is like your gifts will make room for you. And that's exactly what happened. I've been doing video for years. I've been doing graphic design. So when this came, I was already here. Right. And we were already doing Madden tournaments back in 05, 04 with the fatback TVs, me and my boys. Right. So I'm like, when I found out about esports, I'm like, this is what I'm doing. Right. I'm like, word. Right. I felt like 50 Cent. He said, I put a quart of water in a bottle and sold it for $2. And Coca-Cola bought it for billions. Right. I'm like, that was my same exact thing. And I knew that if I got my foot in this field, that nobody could deny me. And one of the lucky things is that I have an amazing supervisor that allows me and advocates for me to push forward within this field too. And he's seen the stuff that I've done so far, and I've told him some of the moves that I'm gonna make. Like I straight up told him, I'm gonna bring in millions into Morgan if y'all just let me do what I gotta do and then get out of my way. Right. So it's a lot of opportunities, and one of those things of like, you just gotta jump when it comes to this field. Try something, see what sticks. Really. Yep. So that's the best advice I can give to anybody that's trying to get into esports path. It's not gonna be easy, but as long as you're authentically yourself and giving it your honest attempt, you're good.
Gotcha. I know we're coming up on our time. I did have one more question about surrounding. Is there any, any talks of NFTs or anything of that nature of, dealing with esports? Or?
So NFTs, I'm still like on the fence about stuff, right? I'm like, what's the purpose of owning somebody's play? Right. Or like nugging somebody? But at the same time, with video games, it makes sense to me. Because you have people who are mods who create characters, they create weapons, they create skins, and that is an NFT.
Yep.
So when it comes to that stuff, I'm like, absolutely, go ahead, kill it. But when it comes to like the other stuff, like the gameplay, I still don't understand it. I understand there's something there, but I'm like, yeah. So NFT, yeah, there's definitely a lot of possibilities for us to do more with NFTs when it comes to video games.
Gotcha. Because and that's what I was because we talked a little bit about the monetization and the NILs and things of that nature, but just with it going hand in hand with gaming, like you said, that's kind of where it started, is the skins
Yeah.
and the different things that you can buy and own in the metaverse, quote unquote, and that's a good place. And like I said, if we want these we want people of color to be able to capitalize on these things that are going to be going on in the future. That's one of the ways that I just like see it going.
And especially when it comes to NFTs, thinking about music creation and music creators.
Yep.
I see it as this is a great opportunity if video games take this opportunity to do this, to allow for people to submit their music to be a part of the soundtrack. Because when you look at Grand Theft Auto, right, you got a ton of music within there. So what would happen if you gave people opportunity to put their stuff out there?
Yep.
That's another form of revenue creation that can be there. And you can develop the next era of talent too. But it's one of those other conversations that can be had with developers yourself though. Yep. So yeah.
Oh, that's dope. Well, again, man, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else that you would want to, to like I said, that kid that's out there that's playing the game but not knowing, how, where to go or what to do? Any advice?
I would say definitely just ignore the haters or the noise. If you feel strongly about something and you have a plan, that's the main thing. Okay, you're playing, but what are you doing with this gameplay? Are you uploading it? Are you streaming on Twitch? Are you making clips that can go viral, etc.? Or are you making merchandise based upon some of your things you say, your common catchphrases? Just do it. Go for it, see what works, because the best way to learn is to fail and learn from those mistakes, definitely. And for the future, I'm looking to have some camps here that'll be in person, also remote. And then also we have some more scholarship opportunities too, because the MEAC, we're really pushing for esports to become a varsity program.
Okay.
So y'all can definitely keep in touch at Taryn Morgan, Tarrin, as in Nancy, Morgan, all one word. And then also follow the esports program at Morgan State University, MSU Bears Esports. And through those two platforms, I will be announcing a lot of the big things that we have coming up. I'm also extremely active on LinkedIn. Well, not extremely, but active on LinkedIn. So I'll leave it at that. So I post the stuff there. Also, to the students out there who are trying to get in the field or anybody with esports, LinkedIn is gold when it comes to you connecting with people with esports. People with the esports, especially Black people, they're extremely, extremely welcoming. So don't be afraid to hop in somebody's DM to ask a question and whatnot. Of course, introduce yourself first. Don't say hey, I need this information. No, it's just like you introduce yourself to anybody else. So, but yeah, shout out to Slack. We waiting to come for y'all. Sports competitions. Get at us. Yeah, but that's everything right there. And if y'all have any other questions too, please hit me up. I have a lot of opportunities for internships, for careers, anything. I can be a resource. I can plug in with some people.
What games are your students? I guess what are y'all specialize in? What games that y'all are playing?
So this past year we did Rocket League, which by the way we were the McDonald's HBCU network champion for that one. Super Smash Brothers, Call of Duty. Sorry, I am blanking right now. Call of Duty. What else is there? We did Halo last year. It didn't really do too well. Splitgate, NBA 2K, Madden. And then for this upcoming year, we're looking at getting into more computer gaming. So Valorant, Overwatch, League of Legends. Also looking at Fall Guys and Multiverses that's coming out. Okay.
Well, again, man, I appreciate you coming on. We'll stay in touch and thank you again.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No problem. Bye.